Yo, what's up, Blackish fam? It's your boy B. We're going to continue going through Marlon Craft's catalog. Man, I was having some internet issues. Everything seems to be back up right now. Really excited to get into this one. This is Marlon Craft, Time Will Tell. Looks like a relatively short video. It looks like it's only 3 minutes long, the official video. I don't think we'll show it here just because of the copyright issues. Yo, let's break it down. I love what I've heard. Everything from Marlon Craft so far has been just on point. So I'm really excited to get to this one. I haven't been disappointed yet. So really excited to see what this cat has to say. Let's get right into it. Time will tell.
It looked like reparations, not just in donations. It looked like time, sacrifice, structural compensation. It looked like cheaper loans on mortgages to make up for that homeowners loan corporation. Cause those ghettos, we made them. It looked like less sugar coats and more Ta-Nehisi. It looked like real...
Bro, we gotta run that back. This man is dropping knowledge here.
It looked like reparations, not just in donations. It looked like time, sacrifice, structural compensation. It looked like cheaper loans on mortgages to make up for that homeowners loan corporation.
Oh, that's so deep, man. For those that don't know, the Homeowners Loan Corporation, sometimes just used, people just use the acronym, right? HOLLC. HOLC. Sorry, I took a little hit of some greenery, so if I'm a little bit slow, don't mind me, right? But this was a government sponsored corporation that was created as part of the New Deal, right? Most people are familiar with the New Deal, I believe. The corporation was established in, I believe it was 1933. It was under the Homeowners Loan Corporation Act, and it was under President Franklin Roosevelt. Its purpose was to refinance home mortgages that were in default to prevent foreclosure and then to expand home buying, right? But a study released in 2018 found that 74% of neighborhoods that HOLC graded as high risk or what they considered as hazardous were low to moderate income neighborhoods, which yeah, you would expect, right? They're bad neighborhoods. They're much more hazardous. It's more of a risk to finance people in these neighborhoods. But basically, these people are trapped into the cycle of poverty. Right? It's 64% of the neighborhoods that are graded hazardous are minority neighborhoods, and that has to play with wealth and making moves with money and your access to money. Just wanted to get that out there. A lot of people don't seem to be familiar with the Homeowners Loan Corporation. It just doesn't seem like it's common knowledge, which is awesome. How he's referencing that in this
compensation. It looked like cheaper loans on mortgages to make up for that homeowners loan corporation. Cause those ghettos, we made them. It looked like less sugar coats and more Ta-Nehisi. It looked like real democracy, no more.
What did he just say there? Let me just run that back a little.
For that homeowners loan corporation, cause those ghettos, we made them. It looked like less sugar coats and more Ta-Nehisi. It looked like real democracy.
Bro, did he say Ta-Nehisi coats and then play on words with sugar coats? I'm a little bit high, but I don't think I'm that high. I don't, man, a lot of people, basically since, well, he was already playing off the HOLC, right? I wanted to highlight how that turned into what's called redlining. I think a lot of people are more familiar with that. It's basically racial wealth inequality. But anyway, he says, yo, because the ghettos, we made them. He said it looked like less sugar coats, right? And what did he say? More Ta-Nehisi? Ta-Nehisi, his last name is Coates, right? Dude was a best-selling author. He wrote that book, Between the World and Me. I don't know if you guys know that or follow that or whatnot, but man, just an educated brother with something smart to say. It was something good to say, and I'm always open to that.
More Ta-Nehisi. It looked like real democracy, no more oligarchy. 360 deals.
Some of y'all might be asking, what exactly is an oligarchy, right? An oligarchy is a small group of people having control over a country, over an organization, or an institution. some would argue that the United States isn't a democracy, as most people say, where everyone's vote counts, but it's more of an oligarchy where there's just a high group above everyone else that controls the entire structure. That's deep.
See no more oligarchy. 360 deals used for enslavement, doing 180s. Non-recoupable payments for all the years that you played them. It looked like judging.
Now, is he talking about 360 Entertainment? That's a media group that I know has been. Are they with? Is that Migos? But he said 360 deals used for enslavement. I think 360. There's 365 days in a year, so I don't think that's his reference. It has to be something. 360 is the circumference of a circle, right? He said, and the deals used for enslavement doing 180s. When you do a 180, you do an about face, right? You change direction. Non-recoupable payments for all the years, right? Here, let's go back a sec.
80s, non-recoupable payments for all the years that you played them. It looked like judging corporate efforts at engagement done by black folks on the ground who do the engaging. No more companies making rules, standards, and criteria and making ass telling us they here and you fuck out of here. It looked like,
and then right when the political season comes around, whatever the local black urban station, bro, the commercials are so offensive. It's like, come on now, we gonna vote for John. John's done good and John's done. And I'm like, bro, what is this? Like, what he's just saying, like all black people like church music because we all love gospel and we love dancing down the aisles. It's like, bro, that's so insulting. It's almost as insulting when Hillary Clinton pulled that hot sauce out of her purse. Like, oh my God, bitch, please, buy with that shit. Sit your ass down, right?
like actually caring a lot. It looked like
Run it back a little.
companies making rules, standards, and criteria and making ass telling us they here and you fuck out of here. It looked like actually caring a lot.
He's saying corporations are on bullshit, right? They're making rules and setting the standards and setting criteria up and defining things that everybody's following. And then he said they're making ads telling you that they're hearing you, right? But they're the ones really responsible for so much that's out here. He said, man, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, right? Like, we peep game, bro. You can fool them. Go talk to, don't play dummy with me. I'm not boo-boo the fool, right?
It look like their shitty schools becoming our shitty schools and actually integrating them so they fair. It's a lot, I know, but you asking.
He's talking about integration, right? He said, yo, it looks like you guys care a lot. If you really care, why don't we integrate, right? I'm from Chicago. Chicago is a very diverse city, but nobody's together, right? What does that mean? The north side is white. The northwest side is Spanish. The south side and the west side are predominantly black, right? So that's a good way of saying race without necessarily saying race, which is just...
I'm telling you, so don't back out now.
That's what he's saying. I almost lost my point there. He's talking about joining schools. He said, let our shitty schools join your shitty schools, and we'll fuck around and have shitty schools together, but it's going to be fair, right? You would dilute everything down in this education, but eventually it's going to rise up. So we need to integrate the schools, integrate neighborhoods, and we need to close these gaps, whether it be the wealth gap or the life expectancy gap and gaps in healthcare, right? That's deep. And it's anybody that can get the conversation going, they're doing their part, right? That's just say. His words are actually making positive change in communities because it's getting the conversation going, right? It's almost like looting, rioting, right? Or protesting, maybe not to that effect, but it's a way to reach the masses and get your message out there. And his message is on point.
Schools and actually integrating them so they fair. It's a lot, I know, but you asked, and I'm telling you, so don't back out now. It look like four jumping
down, motherfucker.
Hesitating.
Right? He's like, you down, motherfucker? Because don't go acting like you down and we kick shit off and then you went down, motherfucker, right?
It look like actually caring a lot. It look like their shitty schools becoming our shitty schools and actually integrating them so they fair. It's a lot, I know, but you asked, and I'm telling you, so don't back out now.
Don't back
it look
out.
Like four jumping to conclusions, hesitating. It look like excavation. Digging up your inner hatred that this nation gave us. Stop pretending it ain't there. It look like validating your own pain and still acknowledging that shit ain't fair.
Yo, that's so sick, man. He's like, stop pretending, don't avoid. So many people want to avoid the race conversation, right? Race, politics. There's certain things that they're still considered taboo. And he's like, yo, we can't. The first step, if you were to go to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, I've never been there, but I believe they want you to admit that you're an addict, right? Admit that you are out of control. Like, what are we doing in our country with we're representing, recognizing Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Act and February's Black History Month, but we can't even acknowledge the fact that there's a lot of privilege that goes on. And I'm not saying it's anyone's fault, but there's these huge gaps in inequality of all types of things, and we need to close those gaps, right? There's no reason that we should be less than or considered any such thing. And we need people on our side that can fight that fight and speak the talk and walk the walk, that are going to make moves to create positive change, right? Social impact, social justice, right?
Hatred that this nation gave us. Stop pretending it ain't there. It look like validating your own pain and still acknowledging that shit ain't fair.
I love that. Listen to that too. When they say that, I think I heard that his dad played jazz, right? His dad played jazz and his mom something. I know he got his bachelor's degree in like urban planning, social injustice. I've been learning a little bit more about him, and it definitely sounds like his message is on point. So let's continue getting into this.
Tell me what it look like. It look like micro and macro working in tandem. It look like getting rid of that racist ass national anthem. It look like
bro.
Racist ass national anthem.
Yo, he said, when he said it looked like micro and macro working in tandem, that's like college level economics. You get microeconomics and macroeconomics. It can mean a lot of different things, but basically micro just means you're looking at the smaller version of things, and macro you're looking at the bigger picture. And working in tandem means working together. And then he brought up getting rid of that racist ass national anthem. And I'm not going to break it down here. It might be worth doing a racist ass video. I mean, a racist ass national anthem breakdown, lyric breakdown. Yo, that actually might be sick. I think I'm going to get that on my list and actually break down how and where it's racist and what it actually means. Because I think a lot of people just sing it and just go along like many folks do, right? And never really take a second thought. So, word again, anyone that can get the conversation going and share knowledge, I'm with it, bro.
It look like truth and reconciliation, words of South Africa. It look like admitting that our God is capital and abandoned. It look like micro and macro working in tandem. It look like getting rid of that racist ass national anthem. It look like truth and reconciliation, words of South Africa. It look like admitting that our God is capital and abandoning faith. It's capitalism, it's white supremacy, hype man, and it look like knowing where the fight lands. And if we won't give up bullshit, American dream allegories in search of equality.
Bro, he's saying so much there, and if you didn't hear at the end, he said capitalism is white supremacy's hype man. Ooh, bro, that's saying so much. He said it looked like knowing where the fight lands if we don't give up. I can't remember that. Something about the American dream.
Hype man, and it looked like knowing where the fight lands. And if we won't give up bullshit, American dream allegories in search of.
Yeah, he said allegories. Allegories are like it's a story, a poem, a picture, but it's typically revealed only through pictures. So he's saying like the American dream, that this is a poem, but it typically has a hidden meaning, and normally it's like a moral one or it's a political view. So that's just intelligent wordplay there, right? He's just saying the American dream is full of shit. It's not really what you see, right? This is a place that has a lot of problems, a lot of racism, a lot of discrimination. We just kind of swept it under the rug as long as the nation could.
It's capital and abandoning faith. Cause capitalism is white supremacy hype, man. And it look like knowing where the fight lands. And if we won't give up bullshit, American dream allegories in search of equality. And it look like a sad story, it look like leadership. It look like not stuffing our faces when they feed us shit. We know it's toxic, design to sedate us. Let's talk more.
Bro, listen to what he said. He said it's a sad story, right? He said, "Look, it looks like our leadership, right? You're a reflection of your management, right? If the team is doing bad, it's a reflection of how they were trained and how they're being led." He said, "Yo, it's a reflection. It looks like leadership. It's a sad story, right?" He said, "It looks like not stuffing our face when they feed us shit." Right? They're feeding you all type of things. But what is he really saying? They're trying to control the narrative because they're dropping ads, they're dropping news in front of you that frame things a certain way because they want you to think a certain type of way. And yeah, you might say the left or the right, right? CNN versus Fox News, but let's be honest, there's only a few corporations that are at the very top, and a lot of those have a mutual interest. So the world is just a scary place. When you get to really digging, you'll see that most companies lead to a corporation, like almost like a hierarchy. And there's a few stones. Like, have you ever heard of Blackstone? Places like that, these large investment groups. They own Coke, but they also own Pepsi. And if you know anything about soft drinks, they own everything in the industry. But they do that in multiple industries, and it all comes back to the same people. Right? So you might be buying Coke, you might be buying Sprite, you might be buying low fat, whatever it is. It the same people are profiting from it. It's this it's not just a crazy system. It's almost crazy that no one does anything about it, which is kind of funny in a way, but a little bit twisted when you actually know how our world works and our role in it.
When they feed us shit, we know it's toxic, designed to sedate us. Let's talk more being shit. They look like reading shit, cause there's no substitute for knowledge. You can't spark no revolution, homie, look how...
You hear what he said? He said, "You can't spark notes a revolution, homie." Those in college know spark notes. Back in the day, I used to go to Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, Illinois. And we had still recovering from COVID. We had the Village Commons bookstore. And in the bookstore, you can get Spark Notes. It was basically a summary of everything, so you wouldn't really have to read it. He's saying, yo, what did he say? Let's talk more, do it. And, we used to have a saying in Chicago in my hood. We used to say something, get buck, act stupid, get stuck, right? That just get people geeked up to kick shit off. But listen to what he's saying, though. He's saying less talk and more doing shit. And he said something like, it sounds like you're just reading shit. There's no substitute for knowledge, but you can't spark notes a revolution, right? There's no, are we going to do this? Motherfucker, are you down, or are you just reading about protests or reading about revolution and saying that you're a revolutionary?
They look like reading shit, cause there's no substitute for knowledge. You can't spark no revolution, homie, look how we in this. It look like honest conversations about what we would give. And you ain't gotta give your life like on the line, but you do gotta give it daily. Will you bleed this shit when it's off cycle? Like, do you mean this shit? And this ain't the half of it. But I'm just tired of writing the same raps and shit for years, cause it look like amplifying voices ain't mine, and I'ma try, cause...
Ooh, he's getting deep with it, right? He's saying, like, does anybody give a fuck besides me? Right? I'm out here screaming. I'm standing on a mountain telling you that the world is burning all around us, and everyone is just, it's frustrating because, I study quite a bit. I like random facts. I love knowledge, right? I study political science. I study constitutional law, but I also took a course in hip hop, right? Just to understand more about the origins of hip hop. And, I'm having a little bit of fun with this, right? And it always upsets me when things like are going down in the world, and you go to talk to a friend, and they're like, "Man, I don't really give a shit. I don't vote. I don't watch the news, bro. I just got to go to work tomorrow." And it's sad because so many people have that mindset. And if everyone voted, what the world would be like if we all had a say in the things that we did as a country, as a nation, as a state, goddamn, as a city, as a ordinance, right? As a in the Chicagoland area, in the western suburb, in the small town, Can we all just have a say in how we spend the dollars in our community? One would say we already have something set up. We just don't support it, right? I'm being a bit, I've been known to be verbose, but let's run it back a bit and get back to the music.
Writing the same raps and shit for years, cause it look like amplifying voices ain't mine, and I'ma try, cause what shit it look like trying? And at the end of the day, but this shit look like dying for this platform of mine and shit. That's what it look like.
Yeah, listen what he's saying. He's like, yo, I have to try to amplify my voice and get this out to the masses, because at the end of the day, what am I doing? It looks like we all might die. I got to use this platform of mine to continue to scream and try to get more people to listen and come over to our side of the fence and try to make moves, right?
Cause I don't know how I feel, but I know how I feel, and that shit look like crying. That shit look like asking why I ain't worried about my brother's safety. I will ride for him. So if it look like riding this shit, it look like riding.
Woo!
He
said, yo, I would ride for him, and shit, if it looks like riding, then yo, it looks like riding, right? I'm down. One way or another, it's going down.
Safety, I will ride for him. So if it look like riding this shit, it look like riding. A lot of history just look like time. Look around, this could be ours. Go on, pick your side.
Yo, that's deep. It's like, yo, history is happening right now, and it's actually happening around you. The decisions that we make, right? And it's these small choices, right? It's right now, right? A Supreme Court nominee. You know, a lot of people look at the president, and it's like, yo, the president is a temporary employee. He's going to be there for 4 years or 8 years at most, and then he's on his merry way, and he gets Secret Service for life. He can do book signings, and he's going to have a great life, right? But what the president does while he's in office, he puts people in positions that have lifelong tenure, right? You might be asking yourself, what exactly is tenure? That basically means that you can't get fired, right? It means that you're established. You have a lifelong role. There's no limit to your position. It's for until you retire, right? Like a Supreme Court justice. Like that's exactly what's happening now. One would say history is happening right now. We actually saw a president impeached. We saw what happened on January 6th of last year. We're seeing what's going on with COVID. This is going to be in the history books for centuries, right? Even after things eventually calm down, if the earth continues, they'll be talking about this time in history when it was pretty violent and things weren't going. There has to be some sort of tipping point where things start trending in the next generation. Yo, if you're a fan of intelligent thought and having good conversation around hip-hop lyrics and exploring really good artists like Marlon Craft, and look at the conversation, right? Look at the dialogue that it creates. Yo, if you're a fan of that and you're a fan of intelligent conversation, actually saying something and breaking down the bars, man, like the video, but don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're going to continue going through Marlon Craft's catalog as well.